I wanted to get more murals in the Waco neighborhood, and I also wanted something that when people are coming east on Market Street that they can see it. And that was a great spot for viewing. It was a huge white wall, so it was a welcoming canvas to begin with. This mural project was about food insecurity. The Cultural Alliance and the YCEA would put out a bunch of interviews. So we had surveys with the food bank, with the college, the housing folks, and CPC and other organizations where people talked about their memories about food. And it ended up being then coalescing around the idea of comfort food, the food people remember growing up. Remembering spaghetti, but it was just the sauce and no meat because you couldn't have that. The meatloaf, because your mom could spread 1 pound of ground beef across 6, 7 people. So the things that we had to do to make things and to make ends meet and still feel and feed family. September is Food Awareness Month. People don't realize how many people are not very far from their last meal. People realize that we are somewhat of a food desert, not having a lot of fresh food, here in the city. And even in having conversations with people about their food memories, the little things that made them happy, cheese and crackers. We all remember the big block of government cheese. So people have been struggling with food and food insecurity and what felt good for many years. It is not the biggest that I've done. It is, I think altogether, it's about 17 feet by 20 feet, done in 3 really large pieces that roll out vertically and horizontally. And there's a lot of work going into the math of figuring it out to make sure they all fit together. The challenge of this one was the terrain that we had to work with getting the lift across. I prefer to use raw brick because my medium and my adhesive sticks to it better. So I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to adhere to this wall. I actually did a little test mural. I don't know if anybody noticed it down below. I did that a few months ago to see how it was going to work. So I was convinced that it was going to work. Every project is different. This one felt like it took a really long time, even though it really wasn't that big. I've been working with Luz Marrero for a while. We've installed a number of murals, and each of them are different, and they have different challenges. When I was laying this one out, getting ready for the installation, I knew that there was going to be a 4-inch gap between 2 of the panels. So I had to make a decision about, do I line up some of the images on the left or do I leave the gap? And I decided to leave the gap, and I can come back and fill that in later because the measurements aren't always exact. I never see them all together at one time. And being able to see how high we can go with a lift and just managing that and rolling the pieces out. So it was challenging, and it really didn't take much longer than most of them do, but just the application and us moving our hands around was challenging. The ribbon cutting is on October 3rd. It's an invitation-only event for the dedication on the 8th. My name is Ophelia Chambliss. I am a local artist and a muralist and an educator. I have my working studio at 253 West Market Street in York, Pennsylvania. My website is opheliachambliss.com. That is OPHELIACHAMBLISS.com. And I have muralartistophelia.com. So you can find me on the web.